Hi, good morning to everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Today, I am thrilled to introduce you to Melinda Stuart. She's the owner and certified senior and specialty move manager with Smart Moves. Thank you for being here, Melinda. I'm so excited for you to share a little bit more about Smart Moves. Tell us a little bit more about you and your business.
Well, thanks again for having me. And Smart Moves, we help people with the downsizing and organizing process, most often when they're moving, but not always. And we're really here to help guide and give suggestions and support them both emotionally and physically during that process.
Fantastic. Well, and I know this is our second segment. We've done kind of the 101 on what should somebody do once they consider making a transition. Today I'd love to talk a little bit more about once they decide the time is right, then what? What should they do? What's the best way to support them once they've made that decision? Elaborate.
So, well, first of all, I always say we can be downsizing throughout our life. You don't have to necessarily make a decision to start, but lots of times there is some motivator that makes us kind of decide to take a big look at downsizing and organizing. And so I always say it's really important to start with areas that are easy. You don't want to start with the most sentimental or emotional part. And so pick something that isn't going to be really emotionally draining or hard to make decisions on, and also a small project. So a great example would be maybe looking through the medications you have and checking for expired medications and then figuring out how to properly dispose of those. Most of us aren't emotionally attached to our medication, and it's just an easy way to start. You can do that in 10 minutes easily, and then call it quits for the day, so that the next day you're feeling like you can handle the next project versus trying to dive in and spend 3 to 6 hours downsizing and organizing, burning yourself out and not wanting to ever do it again.
So that's great advice, because I think what people may not realize until they get into the downsizing or moving process, that our things do carry with them a great deal of emotion. And so I love the tip on start small with something you're not emotionally charged to at all. So medication is a great idea. And then once you build the momentum, I imagine they start seeing boxes around them, and it makes it just a little bit more doable from that point.
And once you feel that sense of accomplishment, it kind of builds a sense of momentum, and you start seeing the difference that it makes. Your space becomes clear, and when our space is clear, we can make decisions easier. So that helps when we get to those harder areas.
Well, that's fantastic. And I think any help that we can get to get the ball rolling, I think, is a huge part, because I don't know if you witnessed through a lot of your clients, but I would think analysis paralysis, where it's just so overwhelming from the beginning that they do nothing.
Or they kind of jump in and are maybe spending time on things that aren't as helpful. So, I always dread that phone call where somebody says, I've been trying to do this for 6 months or 3 years. And then they said, why didn't I call sooner? Because we were able to finish the process in maybe a week. And it was taking them so much time and energy. So definitely when you get to that point, bring in some help
before it's too late. And I appreciate that, because that's why I do what I do, is bringing awareness to allow people to understand that there are professionals out there, and trying to find them before moments in life are too late. So I'm passionate about sharing your message for that exact reason. Just get ahead of the ball before it kind of gets you, right?
Exactly.
Got it. Well, that is fantastic advice. I thank you so much for the tips. This was, as we mentioned, our second segment. We've got one more with some additional advice and feedback that we're breaking up into just small segments, so that people are able to watch just briefly with some really helpful and valuable content. So Melinda, thank you so much, first of all, for your partnership and being on part of our network. And thank you for your time today. It's been great hearing more about the tips and what to do when you consider making your next move.
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
Yes, you're so welcome.